Hey, Looney Bin, how you doing tonight? Right on, right on, right on. It's a great Wednesday night. Some good food, friends, fun, drinks, family, whatever. I just celebrated my 52nd birthday. I didn't think I'd make it that far. Now, let me tell you, there's some certain things I'm starting to get concerned about because I'm now in that age range where I need to consider depends. Let me tell you why. When I was younger, if my bladder was really full and I laughed too hard, a little bit of pee might have come out. Just a little bit. I'm 52. My bladder can be damn near empty. And I laugh too hard or cough too hard and I gotta freaking change my whole clothing. It is not fun, folks. It is not fun. But I refuse to give in. I refuse to buy Depends because I don't want to depend on anybody. Especially Depends. But that's not why I came here to talk to you, folks. I came here to talk to you about my cat, George. Now, my cat, George, was named George after the Bugs Bunny commercial. I'm going to hug you and squeeze you and call you George. But it turns out that I call him Boy George a lot. So, hey, Boy George, how's my boy George? So, unfortunately, he's taken on that 80s singer's name. Anyway, how I acquired George was that he was a stray this last summer in the apartment complex where I live, and everybody was nice to him. He was nice to everybody. The office people loved him, yada yada. And I was contemplating getting a therapy animal because during the winter I have seasonal affective disorder and I tend to get depressed. So I thought, well, what about this cat? So I had my shrink write a letter and say that a cat would be a reasonable accommodation for me to help me combat seasonal affective disorder, and it would be therapeutic to do so. So they waived the $300 pet deposit, and I brought the cat in. That cat is about as therapeutic as a fucking Holocaust. Okay, not that. It's about as therapeutic as a fucking bar is to an alcoholic. You should see my hand. You see that bandage? That's a bandage. That's a big bandage. Because the damn thing, I'm petting it, and all of a sudden it goes from purring to, I'm gonna fucking eat you up like you are my dinner. But that's not the worst part. Or the best part. Or, I'm a good pet parent. I'm a really good pet parent. I'm very responsible. So like, when I first got George, I went and I signed him up with Spay Oklahoma because they only charge $35 to neuter your cat, $10 extra to give him his shots. So I take him to the, and man, there are 2 times in the cat's life when their cry is just almost humanly unbearable. And that's when you try to give it a bath, which I really don't recommend. And, when you put it in a carrier for any length of time. So the whole way out there, and it's pretty much the same cry. The whole way out there, George is doing this. Why? 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 And then after a while, you're so concerned and you're focusing on this cat saying why, and you start to hear him say things like, but I thought you loved me. I'm your pussycat. I'm your therapy cat. I have a British short hair. Okay, so that's why it has a British accent, all right? So anyway, I drop him off at the vet finally, and I'm like, thank God I don't have to listen to this anymore. And they call me at the end of the day. I come pick up George. They hand me $35 out of the $45 back and the cat, and they said, he's already been neutered. I said, really? He didn't look like he'd been neutered. She said, no, we didn't tell until we shaved him. He just had really furry scrotum. And so he looked like he still had his testicles. So I paid $10 to drug, shave, and shoot my cat. That's how humane I am. So the next time that I had to put this cat in a carrier, I got smart. I didn't want it to suffer. So I thought the best thing to do, I had to put him in a carrier. He was going to be in there for 3 hours in the car with the windows down, but it wasn't a good situation. So I drugged him with Benadryl, liquid. Now, Benadryl to a cat is very bitter. So not only you heard the cry that the cat makes. Okay, so this is what I get after the Benadryl. So he's in his carrier, and I'm going. It's okay, George. It's gonna make you feel better. You're gonna go to sleep. You won't have to cry. You won't have to stress out. I shoot that shit in his mouth, and all of a sudden his eyes get real big, and he starts frothing at the mouth, and it's just running down his cheeks, and his why turns into and it just goes on, and I'm like, sorry. I try to give him a little water, and it's like, oh, I'm so sorry. His eyes just get big when I put the water in his mouth. I guess it made it worse, and he was like, why? Anyway, I realized then that next time I have to drug my cat, I'm going to give him a pill. Y'all have a good night. I'm Danielle Boletto.